In this video, as you can probably tell from the title, I'm going to be discussing how firearm suppressors actually sound. I have spent many hours not only using various suppressors, but also recording them and how they sound, and of course you can see videos of that right here on this channel. If you are watching this because you're interested in suppressors, or maybe you're thinking about buying one, I promise you that you will get some really good info in this video, and I highly suggest that you watch it. But in order to get to that really good info, I'm going to have to do something that I don't want to do. I actually debated with myself for quite a while about making this video before finally saying, you know what? Screw it. I made this channel mainly for fun and because I like making videos, but I also said from the beginning, if I'm going to make videos in this massive realm of firearm YouTubers, gun tubers, if nothing else, I'm going to give good, solid, honest information. Because there is a lot of bad information out there, even on some of the bigger firearm-centered YouTube channels. In this video, I'm going to be using a pretty large and probably well-known YouTube channel as a main example for this specific topic. I have 8 YouTube channels, all centered around different subjects. Some channels have thousands of subscribers. This channel, at the time I'm filming this, does not. It's a pretty small channel. After this video, it might be a lot smaller, or maybe not. I hope that if you're a fan of the other channels I'm going to use as examples in this video, you will understand my position and that the information I'm giving is honest and true. It's also important to point out that audio is going to be a central part of this video and this information, so if possible, I would suggest that you use a good pair of headphones or earbuds while watching it. So, to get started, I want to play 2 different audio clips of suppressors being used, and here is the first one. And here is the second one. If you have even halfway decent hearing, you can quickly and easily tell that the audio in the first clip is much lower than the audio in the second clip. Here they are again. Now, those 2 audio clips were taken directly from 2 different videos that both feature the exact same suppressor, the Dead Air Mojave 45, and I have not adjusted or messed with the audio clips in any way, shape, or form. The first suppressor audio is not at all what that suppressor will sound like to your ears if you shoot a bullet through it. The second suppressor audio is much closer to how that suppressor actually sounds in the real world. Now, the first and really only argument that you'll see being made, and probably in the comments of this video, depending on how many people see it, is this. They will say, well, duh, of course, you stupid idiot. No video is going to be able to accurately reproduce the sound of an actual gunshot or accurately reproduce the sound and tone of a suppressor, you moron. And that person would actually be absolutely correct. No audio coming from a video is going to completely, 100% accurately portray how a suppressor sounds in the real world. However, audio from a video can still give you at least some kind of idea of how a suppressor sounds as long as the sound is properly recorded. When a professional band is ready to record a song or an album, they don't pull out a cheap tape recorder and hit the record button, or they don't take out their cell phone and start recording a video. They go to a professional audio production facility or a recording studio and spend thousands of dollars to use top-level equipment in order to record the sounds of their instruments as accurately as possible. You could take the best guitarist who's ever lived and make their guitar sound absolutely awful simply by not recording it properly. That is what has happened with this suppressor audio here. Something is simply wrong with that audio. It either wasn't recorded properly, the mic level was set way too low, or maybe the mic was way too far away, or the sound has been messed with during post-production when the guy who made it was editing the audio and video and getting it ready for release. Those are the only options. It has nothing to do with anything else. It has nothing to do with the outside environment, or the air temperature, or the humidity the day it was recorded. It is simply a bad audio recording. Whereas this audio is perfectly fine. Is it 100% exactly the same thing your ears would hear if you were shooting that suppressor in the real world? No, of course not. But the overall sound and sound level of the suppressor is much, much closer to how it actually sounds. Even if you are blindfolded and couldn't see the video, you can easily tell that's a pistol with a suppressor screwed onto the front of it. Even as someone who has spent a lot of time shooting various suppressors, if I didn't know for sure what this audio was from, I would say it could be from a number of things. It could be a stapler, maybe a pneumatic nail gun, but to me, it sounds like an airsoft gun, and that would probably be my first guess. And that's the main problem, because I guarantee you that suppressor in that video doesn't make an actual pistol sound as quiet as a freaking airsoft gun. I mean, this almost sounds like a very quiet Hollywood suppressor sound effect, and anyone who has shot a suppressor will tell you that 99.999% of the time, the movies have it all wrong. As much as I love The Professional, that ain't reality, and neither is this. Here are two more quick examples just to hammer home the point. Again, if you have even halfway decent hearing, you can quickly and easily tell that the audio in the first clip is at a much, much lower level than the audio in the second clip. Here they are again. And again, those audio clips were taken from two completely different videos made by two different people that both feature the same suppressor. Again, this is not accurate. I guarantee you that what you can hear in these clips is much closer to what you would hear if you heard this suppressor in the real world. This is the video where the first suppressor audio was taken from, and now I want to show you something using Final Cut Pro, which is one of the video editors I regularly use. So I have put this video into Final Cut Pro, and here you can see the audio waveform, and you can clearly see that the audio level is drastically lower during the footage of him shooting compared to the sections of the video where he's inside talking about the suppressor. You can easily verify this by using his own voice. Here it is much, much quieter than here. Here is what his voice sounds like when it is recorded properly.
But really cool design. I remember the first time I saw it, this reminded me of an...
And here's what it sounds like in the shooting footage.
This shouldn't even be possible, guys. By the way, it's the first shots fired. I didn't notate that earlier.
And note that in this clip, he is very surprised by how quiet everything is. Gee, I wonder why. And again, I haven't altered any of this footage or audio in any way. This is taken directly from the video that was uploaded to YouTube. Obviously, if the audio level of his voice is that low, then the audio level of the suppressor being used is also a lot lower and sounds much quieter than it would in real life. I mean, it can't get any clearer than this. Either he is lowering the audio level when he is editing the video, like I can do right here, or the mic is too far away, or his camera's audio level or external microphone's audio level is way too low when recording and is not truly capturing the actual sound being produced when he is talking, and more importantly, when the suppressor is being used. And now I want to show something else. And some people might say I'm doing this just to try and cause trouble, but I promise you that is certainly not the case. I'm including this info in this video because I think it's very important, and it involves the comments on the actual video I'm using as an example in this video. Now, these comments are one of the main reasons I decided to go ahead and make this video. I had actually been thinking about it for quite a while, but comments like these convinced me that it was time. So here are some actual comments on this video. And I'm not going to read every single sentence, but you can pause the video and read it yourself, but I'm going to go through some of them. So here we have this guy saying, it doesn't seem really fair. You have the volume turned down so much. You can tell because your voice is so low. Just like I'm talking about in this video. And you can see his responses with these comments. Found another one, guys. Just go read through the comments. I'm not explaining it again, which obviously means there are other comments that you're going to see. The uploader keeps whining about people saying the audio is goofed. They are saying that because it is. Yes, that's true. Whether it's intentional or not, I don't know, but it's still goofed. At one point, he turns and looks directly at the camera, and you still can't hear him speak. Even the worst cameras wouldn't lose that much volume a few feet away. Yeah, the audio is goofed. That comment is spot on. And his response, instead of running your mouth, look up my responses that explain why you experienced what you did, or don't. I don't give a F. We got this guy. 80% of the comments on my video are about how quiet both the voice and gunshots are. It must be the viewers who are wrong. Even though this never happens to anyone else, wah wah, you're a dumbass and this is how you sound. Then you have this guy that says, I think it is the best video so far on YouTube giving the correct idea of how suppressed weapons sound. No, it's not at all. That's completely, this guy has it completely backwards. This video is completely backwards from reality. Could you place the microphone any further away? Sounds like noise canceling is on. Yep, something's wrong with it. I don't know. When you post a video that is so quiet that nobody can hear you talk, you screwed up. Fix it and stop defending a bad choice. Clearly you need 2 mics, one for the cans and one for voice. I literally have 2 mics, one lapel for addressing the audience and one powered stereo mic for capturing the tone. Well, then it's still not working. Your setup is not working. And it just goes on and on. There's comment after comment after comment saying the same thing that I'm saying in this video and pointing out in this video. Reading through the comments here, I see a number of people mentioning the sound in this video, and I agree. Unless I happen to be out somewhere and only have my phone, I always use MDR 7506 headphones, which that's really interesting because that's exactly what I use. The MDR 7506 headphones, if you're not familiar with them, if you've listened to any music from the past 30 to 35 years, maybe a bit longer, if you've ever heard a song or watched a movie or a commercial, you're probably hearing audio that was produced using the MDR 7506 headphones. Those are about the best headphones you can use for audio monitoring. Yes, absolutely. These comments are getting old. I'm not doing anything to fluff the video. I add 12 decibels during post editing. Well, I don't know what he's doing, but it's not working. And this guy answers him and says, you seem sincere and insecure. You're treating the criticism like it's false. People are just reporting what they hear. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's all we're doing. That's all I'm doing with this video. And I'm doing it to help people who are looking at buying a suppressor. And then you can see there's a bunch of comments and replies on this one. I don't understand why these content creators turn the volume down on their cameras and expect people to believe suppressors are actually as quiet as they appear in the video. I have shot numerous suppressed weapons and none of them are as quiet as any of them shown in a video. Just saying. Certainly not in this video. Not as quiet as what you hear in this guy's videos. Then you have this guy saying, it sounded like airsoft, man. Yeah, because there's something wrong with the audio. The audio sounds like it was recorded with a GoPro while it was sealed up in a waterproof enclosure. Yeah, it sounds something like that. Well, that's weird. It looks like your microphone wasn't working or was pointing in the wrong direction because I have no idea what you were saying. Couldn't hear you. And again, the comments just go on and on. And this guy says, for anyone who might watch this guy's suppressor videos, be warned, I own numerous suppressors that I shoot regularly, even really good ones like the CGS Hyperion. Me too. This guy's comment, he just goes on and just, again, talking about how this video sounds and how the sound is off. And then, of course, the response from the uploader, you're an idiot. Just because I know how to properly set up my camera and mic so they don't peek out does not mean I fluff my videos, you F. And then he gets all mad at people for calling him out because the audio is simply not accurate in this video. So you can clearly see that I'm not the only one who notices the very obvious problems with the audio in that video. And this is not the first time I've noticed that exact same issue in that guy's videos. And I've seen multiple videos of his over the years. Now, at the other end of the discussion, we have someone else I want to use as an example. It's someone you might have heard of, and that is good old Hickok45. Hickok's suppressor videos are much more representative of how an actual suppressor sounds in real life compared to the other guy's videos. In Hickok's video, the sound of the shot is not clipping the mic, as I saw that other guy keep saying in his responses to the comments on his video. You can clearly hear that is not going on at all in this recorded footage. even though the sound level is overall much higher, as it should be. You can hear the action of the gun, and you can still hear the bite of those gunshots, even though the suppressor is clearly reducing it. And again, I want to be very clear here. After having shot thousands and thousands of rounds through various suppressors, I can guarantee you that the difference you hear between this .45 caliber suppressor
Mac.
and this .45 suppressor has nothing to do with the suppressors themselves, or the ammo, or the outside environment the footage was recorded in, or the air temperature, or the humidity, or whatever other excuses someone might try to come up with. Again, the fact is this audio is poorly recorded and doesn't sound how a suppressor will sound to your ears in the real world, while this audio
Mac.
does. It's that simple. If you've never used a suppressor, I promise you that what you hear in Hickok 45's videos, as long as you're listening with some halfway decent headphones or earbuds, is pretty close to how those suppressors would sound to your ears in the real world. But wait, there's more. When I started making this video, I thought, you know what? If I'm going to go poke the hornet's nest with this suppressor discussion, let's just go all out and include the legend himself, Hickok 45. And why I also have a problem with some of his quote-unquote suppressor videos. While every one of Hickok's suppressor videos that I've ever watched sound spot on, it has actually led to something else that I also have to call out, and it's something that I consider a major issue, and here's a perfect example.
So does that guy.
If you actually bought that setup and shot it without hearing protection, not only is your bank account going to be jacked, but so are your ears. There is no way that setup is even remotely quiet. I don't care what he says. You can even hear how freaking loud it is in the video. That suppressor seems to barely do anything to the loudness of that gunshot. Again, as someone who regularly shoots suppressed guns, and as someone who has watched many Hickok 45 videos and knows that his suppressor audio is pretty accurate, I can immediately tell that this quote-unquote suppressed shotgun setup is still really freaking loud. So for him to even mention hearing safe while showing off that setup and shooting it while clearly not wearing hearing protection is kind of irresponsible and also kind of misleading, especially since so many people look to him for advice and guidance when it comes to firearm stuff. And I've noticed this in a few other suppressor videos of his as well, where you can easily tell that the setup he's using is still kind of loud. Not nearly as loud when not using a suppressor, obviously, but still loud enough that I would bet ear protection is still needed, especially for a longer shooting session. I think this is the only time I've ever even wanted to criticize Hickok 45, but as the old saying goes, it is what it is. And I think it's important to at least point this out to people so they don't go spend $1,000 on a shotgun suppressor and then blow their freaking ears out of their heads because they think it's completely safe to remove their hearing protection and start blasting away. So, in conclusion, there are two main points that I hopefully made with this video. Number one, if you're not experienced with suppressors, be very, very careful when using a video to get your information, especially when it comes to how a suppressor actually sounds. The first couple of YouTube videos I used as examples of bad suppressor audio are not the only videos with that kind of issue. There are many, many, many other suppressor videos that I've seen where I can immediately tell that the audio is no good and I shouldn't use it to judge the actual sound of the suppressor being shown. Just know that some videos have very poor audio and don't represent the true sound of the suppressor almost at all, while other videos actually do a pretty good job letting you hear what the suppressor sounds like in the real world, even though it's not 100% accurate, as no audio coming from a video will be. And the second point is, don't blindly follow or listen to just anyone when it comes to suppressors. Even the biggest channels can sometimes be misleading, whether they do it intentionally or not. I think this is an important topic because a lot of people have never even heard a suppressor in real life, so they come to YouTube, they start watching videos, which are usually videos by the bigger channels, and then they blindly follow the info and or advice presented in those videos. At the time I'm making this video, most suppressors are still pretty expensive for most people, and my goal is to give people good, accurate info before they go plop $500 or $1,000 or even more dollars on a suppressor. So with that being said, I'm going to leave off with some of the suppressor footage you can find in some of my other videos on this channel in case you're interested in learning more. See you in the next one.